Good afternoon, everyone. I'll give people a few moments to trickle into the live stream. It always shows me a count of people when it happens. The advertisement and just to the live stream. So it's neat how that kind of works. So I should see the number going up here a little bit. So good evening, everyone. Good evening. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little sick. So I was like, should I cancel? Should I not cancel? And I decided y'all would make me feel better. So I decided to come on here and still do a live stream for a little bit. I'm not promising an hour and a half or 2 hours like I normally do. We'll see how long my voice lasts on us. But we'll take it from there. So nothing major. It's just head congestion, some things like that going on. Not amazing, but it is what it is. I woke up yesterday morning, Tuesday morning, and I tried to open my eyes. It was one of those where you just feel that sinus pressure right through the top of your head. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed, but I've been working still and, trying to do my thing. But wanted to come on here and chat with you all for at least a little bit. Let's see who all we have going. So my words may come out a little bit wrong. Hey there, Mimi. Welcome. Rose Ferrari, welcome back as well. Always a pleasure. Got Scott's. Good evening. Good evening. We've got Michael coming in as well. Thomas Grant on here, and I'm sure Sarah is right beside of you. Hey guys, they were just on the group cruise with us this past weekend, which may or may not be where my sickness came from. Which, I thought about it, and this is one of those things where I get a little sensitive in, saying that, hey, I probably got sick on a cruise. I don't know if the math plays out that way. So we got off the ship, it was only a weekend cruise or 4-night cruise. So we boarded on Thursday and we got off on Monday morning, and I was sick Tuesday morning. Technically, probably, I think I could have known Monday if I would have paid closer attention that it just wasn't quite right. But when I woke up, I knew. And I always hesitate to say that I got sick on a ship because everybody's like, oh, there's so much illness on ships or viruses on ships. And that is a true statement. I mean, I'm not here to say that there's not. Anytime you're around a lot of people, you're going to have, name whatever the virus may be of the week. But I thought about it. I was like, interestingly enough, I've not gotten sick that I would relate to a cruise. Actually, I don't think I've even been sick since. But when I had COVID, you all may remember that. If you want to go back into, the archives of the Weekend Cruiser, that's really where I started getting a lot of traction on the channel. And it's when I had COVID on Freedom of the Seas on New Year's Eve of 2021 going into 22. And so I've done, gosh, how many cruises since then? And I've not gotten sick. So for everybody that thinks that you go to a cruise and you get sick, I've probably done like 60 cruises and not gotten sick within that period of time. So I think I'm doing pretty good right now. Though I did see some ship, and I don't remember which one it was, but Neurovirus was doing its thing. So that one has always been an issue for cruise ships, and I hope that it gets itself under control. But I think there was a few hundred people impacted by that. So moral of the story, always wash your hands, whether you're on a ship or on land. Take care of yourself, use hygiene, and be smart about it. Thanks, Rolls Ferrari, for the get well note. Thank you, Mimi. Hopefully soon enough I will be. I'm already on the up and up. I'm doing the day cool thing. I've got some Kleenexes over here if my nose keeps running on me a little bit. Hey there, Gopher. Thanks, Scott. I've got a few more videos coming from Utopia. So I did them this weekend. It was kind of weird. I recorded the videos, like the follow-up videos to Utopia. There's the walking tour that's gone live, and so you all can certainly check that out. But now there's going to be, let me see if I can remember the ones that I did. So I did, is Utopia of the Seas a booze cruise? Is it a weekend cruise? I mean, the answer to that is yes. Yes, it is. I also did the changes of Utopia of the Seas. They've changed a lot of the atmosphere and some of the flow of people and some of the dynamics just to make it a more weekend cruise, which I personally really appreciated. So I wanted to talk about that some. And the third video that I filmed this past weekend was how I get to cruise so much. It's a video that I'm kind of redoing. You all know that I don't normally do a video twice. At least I have not done a video twice at this point, or even the same concept. But this is one that I keep getting a lot of answers on. And so I wanted to bring the conversation back to how my life has prioritized going on cruise ships and how I'm able to go on so many of them. So those are the videos that'll be coming out. I want to say there's one more from Utopia, but I don't remember what that is at the top at the moment. Tea time. Hello, welcome. Michael, to save money on cruises, do I book group rates? If there's a group rate available, absolutely, I'm booking into a group. I do have a travel agent, so I am not a travel agent. That's why people ask me passport questions or things that that's not my wheelhouse. Travel agents work very, very hard, and it's not something that I want to get into. But I go through my travel agent, and he gets me the best rate that he has, and often, so travel agents go through what they call a consortium. So you've got one travel agent who kind of hooks up to a larger umbrella organization, and so they can use their group rates. And so oftentimes I do get to take advantage of that. Or these days, I'm just booking really far in advance that I'm able to get a good rate, and I'm able to get a solo cabin if it is available. So for those of you who have not seen the deployment calendars, they just came out, and I should have grabbed them, but the schedules are going to be coming out for Celebrity first. And then we're going to do Royal Caribbean more next year. And I think Celebrity's short cruises, the one that I paid attention to, is coming out in November. And then I think it's the last week of February that the short cruises are coming out for Royal Caribbean. Don't hold me to those dates. But I will definitely be checking those out, seeing if anything wets my whistle. And if it does, I'll go ahead and just book 2 to 3 months worth of that same ship, especially if I can get the solo room. That's exactly what I did with the Silhouette for the beginning of 2025. Is I saw that she had 4 in solo cabins, and I was like, I want those. And so I was able to jump on it before anybody else was. The benefits of planning in advance, especially well in advance, is a good little ways. Well, hey there, Tea Time. Thank you for supporting the Weekend Cruiser. I need to figure out how I can move this little guy. There we go. Pull him over to the side. Get him off of me. Always learning something with technology, but thank you, Tea Time. That always means a lot. So what Tea Time just did there, let me walk you through, what happened. There's this QR code up in the upper left. So if you do see that and use your phone, take a camera picture of it or hold your camera up to it, it'll take you to the Buy Me a Coffee website. And that is similar to Patreon. It's a little bit different, but it doesn't allow you to directly donate to the Weekend Cruiser to help me continue going on these cruises and sharing all the great information with you all. And so it only keeps like 4 or 5% of what you give. If you give directly through YouTube, they take a lot more. So that's why I do prefer that. But more importantly, it allows me to respond to you. So if you do give money like Tea Time just did, I'm able to go in and give you a personalized thank you note in a video recording, which I just think is super cool that, I have this channel where I'm getting to know you all and I can respond with a video. I think it's just really neat. Cal, welcome. Hey, Eugene, welcome. Good to see you again. Kevin, am I still getting casino offers? I am not. And that's one reason why I stopped going to the casino is because I wasn't getting any offers. I was spending more money in there than I cared to admit some days, and they weren't giving me offers. It was only what I was earning in points on those cruises. And so they were like, oh, but you've got so many cruises booked, we're not going to give you an offer. And so I was like, well, there's a way that I solve that is I just stopped gambling. The only way that I could solve that is to stop gambling, go through all those offers. But by then, they don't see any of my play. They don't give me any offers. I do still get offers from MSC. When I gambled there, probably 2 years ago. And they didn't really have a casino program, didn't have it really well together. They're building out their program, it seems. And so they've been emailing me a lot more recently with offers. But here's the thing. I don't want to gamble. I don't want to do that. And I feel bad going on a casino comp because then it also sets the expectation for me that I should be gambling and I don't want to gamble. So I just stay away from those. MSC also does this nasty little trick. I say nasty, it's actually quite smart, where instead of to book your cruise, you have to give them a $400 deposit. Brilliant. But they give it back to you in onboard credit, AKA you can use it in the casino. And so again, if I don't want to gamble, I wouldn't give them $400 that I then have to go into the casino on. That's just me. I'm trying to trying to be good and stay away. So those are my quick takes on it. Royal Caribbean actually is doing something similar to that, Kevin, with the $400 that MSC is doing. They're saying that if you don't show up, and that's why they do this, is you get a free room. And trust me, I've no-showed on more than my fair share. They lose all the revenue. They can't resell the room. And so they're trying to prevent that. Royal Caribbean has implemented a cancellation policy. So if you are a no-show, they're going to charge you for that. I personally would rather know it up front that I've got $400 of onboard credit waiting for me. If I don't make it there, they keep it, versus surprise, you didn't show up and now you're getting a fee. I just think that'd be a little bit awkward. Thomas was on the group with us, but normally get that right after a storm. It could be the pressure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And then somebody online was also posting about the chemical plant in Georgia. I don't know how far away that is, if it's made its way all the way down here, but it could be something. And I did send a note to the group cruise. So when we go on a group cruise, we use a WhatsApp message. And I sent a note to everybody on Tuesday just saying, hey, woke up not feeling too hot today. Just full disclosure, figured everybody should know, and we can take it from there and make smart decisions. Hey there, Brant, welcome. Can you use onboard credit to book another cruise at next cruise? That is a good question. I honestly don't know the answer to that. That's probably more of a travel agent question, but I honestly, because when you go to next cruise, they can charge it to the card on file, or they can do the other one. But I don't think that they've ever, if they charge the card on file, it would offset. I mean, I'm gonna say 60%, yes, but I'm gonna defer that. If somebody in the chat or the comments, can you use onboard credit to book your next cruise at the next cruise desk on Royal Caribbean or Future Cruise Desk on Celebrity, MSC, any of them? Let us know. I know I've got a few TAs that like to jump on here. Yeah, Joanne, let's talk about it. Kids definitely bring illness. Granted, everybody can bring illness with you, but kids definitely do. We were on Independence of the Seas this weekend for the group cruise, and I've never seen so many infants on a cruise. I don't know what's changed, but there were buggies, carriages everywhere on Independence of the Seas for this 4-night cruise. And it was just odd because the whole group, I remember commenting on, where'd all these babies come from? I mean, you didn't see, school-age kids there because they were in school, but there was a ton of 3 and under kids there. Thanks, Brant, and greatly appreciate it. You're probably gonna see me doing a lot of my water on here. I've got some Sudafed in me. Had to come back and get my driver's license so I could go buy it. Hey there, William. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, the Seashore. Is that the one? I always get these confused. There's one for 2016 or 26. So it's the Seaside, actually, that is coming to Miami to do legitimate weekends. The Seashore up in Canaveral just annoys me because they want to do a weekend, but it's really a Thursday to Sunday, which is not optimal because then I lose Friday, and Sunday just becomes a ride home kind of day. But there's that. But good news, I will share this. This I am super excited about is I think I've landed my first sponsored video. So I don't know if it's because I finally hit 20,000 or whatnot, but there's people that are reaching out that actually have a really good fit with their product. Actually, I should say that this is one where I reached out to them and said, hey, we should work together. And so that is Red Coach. So I'll go ahead and just give them a quick shout out for even just entertaining it. I think I've got the contract in my inbox to review and send back, but it looks like we're going to be doing something. Hopefully I'm not speaking too soon, but excited to make a video for them. And I reached out to them after, probably my 3rd or 4th trip on one of their buses. They are a bus line that has a premium economy, a business class, and a first class bus. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, look, I'm sitting on your business class bus, having a great experience. A lot of people don't know about it. Let me help you tell them about it, and give them a solid alternative to Brightline. And so I think we're going to be able to do something there. So super excited about that. So thank you all for engaging with the content, watching the content, and hopefully making that happen. I mean, I'm over the moon. So I'm super happy. It's taken over a year to make it happen, but I'm excited. What are my thoughts of okay, new ship versus old ship here? It's a tough question for me right now because I just got off of Independence. So let's talk about this Rolls Ferrari. I just got off of Independence of the Seas, Indy, as I will affectionately calling it sometimes. She's showing wear, and I don't know if it's because I've been on a lot of newer ships recently. Like I just came from Utopia the weekend before, and I did the Magnifica, which still seemed nice, but it seemed more dated. The one place that we noticed it a lot on the group was in the dining room. The chairs were the top of the chairs were all peeling off and just it's showing its wear. And I think that that's because the cruise lines are really emphasizing the newer ships these days, putting money behind them to make them really nice, to the neglect of some of their older ships. So, I mean, I would even hate to ask, how does Liberty of the Seas look these days? How does the Grandeur of the Seas look these days? Because they've not done a dry dock. And the last time I was there, which was quite some time ago, they were not in good shape. So it depends on the experience you're going for. If you're good with some things that don't look brand new, that doesn't have a nice fresh smell of paint on it, I think an old ship is the way that I like to go. I personally enjoy smaller ships. The ease of getting around, being able to see people, being able to meet people is easier on small ships. Majority of things on large ships, I don't do. There is nothing in the sports complex that interests me at this point. I'm not playing pickleball. I'm not doing basketball. I'm not doing anything back there. I'm really not going to all the specialty restaurants. I don't sing karaoke, though I will listen to it. And so a lot of what the big ships have, it's kind of lost on me. I don't necessarily need all of that. So hopefully that's a decent answer for you there, Rolls Ferrari. Hey, Larry, welcome back. It was. And I think, let me see if I can go ahead and switch. I took some pictures. Do you guys want to see some pictures of the group cruise? I'll show you everybody. And then I got to not feeling too hot. And so I have not done that. I apologize. But maybe I'll still make another kind of video about that. Let me come back over here to the comments. But thanks, Larry. It's great seeing you as well. I did make it to the group, and it was a success. We had such a good time, Kevin. I mean, when you put on a group, at least this is my thought of putting on a group. I'm always worried you've got people that have done it before that and that know each other, and then you've got new people that are always going to be circulating in. And granted, it's not always the same exact people, but you have some folks that come all the time. And I will say that the groups that I've been on, we've done what, 3 of them now, I think, have been nothing but fantastic and wonderful, and everybody leaves feeling a part of the group. It is one of the least cliquey kind of groups that I think I've ever been a part of, and that is not my doing. That is a tribute to all the wonderful people that are coming on the group and feeling included, feeling like you get to know everybody. By the end of it, everybody knows everybody's names. We know their stories. We know where they live. We know really good information about them, and we continue those conversations. The group chat for that particular cruise is still going. We're still chatting with each other, even when we got off the ship. We're still staying in communication. So it was a really good group. There will be more, Kevin. There actually are 2 more scheduled, which I need to get another group newsletter out. But if you want to sign up for the group cruise newsletter, it is down in the description of this video, or you can just go to weekendcruiser.com, sign up there. We've got 2 that are coming up. So the first one that we've got is what I affectionately call the non-group group cruise. So I don't care how you book it. You don't have to go through a certain TA. You can go through the casino. Just show up to the ship. But that is May 3rd on the World America. So it is an MSC ship. It is their very new ship. So it'll be the 3rd or 4th sailing. So it's almost an inaugural. I like for them to kind of work some of those kinks out before I head over there. But excited for the MSC World America cruise. I think if you want me for 7 days, by the way, it's a 7-day cruise. Did I mention that? I was joking with the people on this 4-night. I was like, you guys think you can handle me for 7 days? You think that we can do that? And so luckily there was a resounding yes. They think they can. We'll see if they really can or not once we get there. But I'm excited to give that a try. Oh, and I was gonna say something else that I forgot. Oh, we've got a second group cruise coming up. That's what I was gonna say. Um, it is gonna be on. Let me change this. This is late 2025. It is gonna be on November 14th. This is 2025 on Quantum of the Seas, and it is more of a solo cruise. Granted, if you're a couple want to come with a friend, absolutely. But the reason I call it a solo group cruise, and this is a proper group cruise through a travel agent, is because the Quantum of the Seas has the most solo cabins of all the Royal Caribbean ships, and it's doing a weekend out of Los Angeles. So it's also a West Coast kind of cruise. But we were able to reserve with the travel agent a ton of solo group space. And the great thing there is when you only have a limited number, like let's say there's 20 of them, if 5 of them get booked individually, the price goes up. I went ahead and locked in the price for those rooms so that we have them now and they won't go up until Royal Caribbean calls that space back. And they very well might, because I don't think they like the fact that we have all these solo cabins at a low rate. So if you want a good deal on a solo cabin, look over to Quantum of the Seas, November 14th out of Los Angeles. Technically San Pedro, so Long Island, Long Beach is the closest airport that you can get to there. Did I make a video on my top 5 sail away spots? I did not. I've actually never thought about that type of video, but that's not a bad idea, Michael. I could probably do that, but let me think if I can see what my top ones would be. So, I mean, you've got the sports complex in the back. I love seeing Miami when we're leaving from, actually, this was Canaveral, but still seeing the city when you're leaving. You've got the lime and coconut. It's going to be another good one. Anything outside the view is also going to have a really good view. So any of those would probably work well. Good question, though. Always, Kevin. Welcome. Hey, Allie with a Y. Welcome back. It is going to be a very nice ship. So what Scott's referencing here, he's saying that they released one of their restaurants. So they're trying to market MSC America because they want to market. I mean, they've watched Royal Caribbean launch Utopia, launch Icon, watch Wonder. That's had a huge splash in the marketing channels. And so what they're doing is slowly telling us what they've got. They came out and said some of the rides are going to have a swing that goes over the side. I made a quick video on that. But they just came out and said, hey, we're going to put an Italy on the ship. And I think that is so well played for the Americans market, for a cruise line with Italian, background to it, if you will. I think that that is really well played. And so many people love Italy. And it is a higher end experience here. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to play out on their ship. But stay tuned, Scott. I'm going to keep sending out as we get close to the information on how to register and let us know that you're going to be on that ship so we can get together and do some things. Kevin, I am not disagreeing with you. I have done the math for me personally, and it is absolutely not worth my gambling time. My gambling money far exceeded the amount I was getting in offers, especially more recently. I think pre-COVID, that may not have been the case. Post-COVID, that is absolutely the case. It's amazing that that thing's still going, Gopher. I hope all is well with you and your family. And I guess you're staying inside or wearing a mask or even evacuated if it came down to that. But hopefully that all gets resolved very, very soon. Lots of bad things going on in the world these days. Not that I want to go there. This is escapism. This is why I have a YouTube channel. But to Gopher's point, there's just a lot of things going on. Onboard credit cannot be used. That is a good one. I wasn't sure, so I'm glad I asked the question. Thank you, Michael, for that. Holly K, having to fly to cruise ports, can't see only doing a 3 or 4 day cruise. Is there an option of doing a B2B to make it longer? Absolutely, there is. Utopia of the Seas actually gets a good number of back-to-back guests these days. That's what B2B stands for. Because she's a new ship, she's shiny, and people just really want to take her in. And honestly, 3 nights on a Oasis class ship is not enough. If you want to really see and experience the ship and not be exhausted by the time you get off, you want to try to do at least a full 7 night. But I would argue that, hey, if you're already there from Friday to Friday, you might as well stay on for another 3 days and make it a 10-nighter and do a back-to-back-to-back Holly. I think that is one of my favorite things I used to do. The trade-off of doing a back-to-back versus a traditional 7-day, though, is you kind of give up one day to come back into Miami and do what they call a turnaround or turnaround, where everybody has to get off the ship and then you can go back on. If you are not from Miami, you can always head over to South Beach. You can still get off the ship and enjoy, or wherever that ship is coming into. If it's Canaveral, Fort Lauderdale, you do have other options to get off the ship and go and enjoy. So I would certainly recommend it. If you want to come and do a short cruise, you can do that. Or you can always join us on World America for a 7-nighter. And by the way, there's no discount to booking back-to-backs. Everybody thinks when I used to do those that I was getting discounts or because I booked so many. No, I book each cruise individually at whatever the rate happens to be or the group rate that my travel agent's getting me. Rolls Ferrari, I was on Indy 3 weeks ago. There were more kids than I expected, but few real young kids. You were probably still there. Well, if you were there 3 weeks ago, it wasn't quite, school had already started for most people. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out some of when these schedules are. The drink package, I think, JD Jastel, I guess is how I say this. The drink package is a commitment. I don't think a lot of people realize that. So if you want to truly get your money's worth out of the drink package, you've got to do 6 or 7 drinks every single day. If you're doing that for 7 nights, that's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of drinks. If you're doing it for just a weekend, absolutely it can be accomplished on a weekend, especially if you go over to a private island of Coco Cay or Labadee. You can do that. But if you're only going to have a drink here and there, the only reason you would want to get a drink package is so you don't feel like you're nickel and diming yourself, that you're on vacation, you know that it's paid for, and you can order whatever it is that you want to. But if you only drink 6 drinks, I mean, you didn't even get 1 day's worth of the drink package, because the drink package is going to run you on a good day, $75 plus 18% gratuity. So, I mean, think long and hard about the commitment you make. I don't drink anymore. I don't think I've drank in 6 or 7 years I've been without. But with that being said, I used to drink on cruise ships and I still never got the drink package, because what I would find that I would do is I would hit I made my money back on this day number. And then the next day I'll be like, please keep me away from alcohol. I don't want to drink anything else. Like, you overshoot one day and the next day you don't want to drink any. And so you wind up not getting your money's worth on that second day, and it's back to being a wash. So I think that you really just have to know yourself, be true. How much are you really going to drink? And then make that decision on, is that drink package worth it or not? And it's not always the case. Yeah, Liberty. I remember when we did our group cruise on it last year, it was not in good. I was really surprised at how in not good shape. She still hasn't been amplified. She's supposed to go next year or 2026 to be have some changes done. And I hope that it's not just propellers and things that we never actually see, but hopefully she gets some work. Brant, we're going on the Liberty in December. We'll let you know how it's looking. Please do. I mean, I want them to take care of their ships. I've seen this with hotel chains as well. I used to travel more in hotels with work, and I'd go to some hotels. I'm like, I was like, Hilton, you've let your hotels fall into disarray. Like, they're not in good shape. You haven't been updating them. They're getting better at that now, but it's taken some time. Do you still get double points for a junior suite if booked a guaranteed stateroom on Royal? If you booked a suite guarantee, tea time, getting all my T's in here, you would get those double points. If you booked a balcony stateroom guarantee and you got upgraded to a junior suite, you would not. Same goes for if you purchase a balcony cabin and then you win the bid or the upgrade bid to get into that junior suite, you would not get the extra point. But if you book a suite or higher, including junior suites, you will get that extra point. So that's a junior, a grand, an owner suite, a royal loft, crown loft, and family rooms. Thanks, Rolls Ferrari. Absolutely spot on. Thanks, Gopher. We shape up nice. I don't know if some of you all saw, there was some duck shirts that were out there. Let me come back to this. Allie Y, glad she was looking good for you. Hopefully they've made some modifications to her, but I'm glad to hear that. And it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? I might be just a little bit more critical to my point because I've been on all these new ships recently. So it's kind of tough when you go back to an older ship to be like, oh, like that chair's 20 years old, which is probably not an exaggeration. Linda, you should come join us. Our group cruises, so far, I think we've had about 15 has been the max. But it's a really good middle ground. I don't know if you're a solo cruiser or not, but I think for me, it helps because you get to do what you want to do. You get to be with people when you want to, whether you want to see a show, you want to go to the dining room with us. It's all up to you. We are not a group that over plans, that over does things, if you will. And if you want to be part of whatever that activity is, you're welcome to do it, or you can go do your own thing and ask other people to go with you. I am very adamant that this is still your cruise. You just happen to be with a group. Do what's going to make you the happiest while you're there. That may be hanging out with the group just for dinner. It may be just doing the shows. Or it may be just coming and saying hi the first night and then doing your own thing. It's totally fine. But it's a really good option. Check the description down below at theweekendcruiser.com and you can see what the two upcoming for 2025 are. Any suggestions? Are you going out of Ravenna, Carmen? If you are, I would say make sure that you set up your ground transportation in advance. They have literally like 5 taxis in the entire port city. So that's the toughest thing to do. We stayed in a really nice Airbnb when we were there. I've not been on MSC in Europe yet, so I can't really say, what the pros and what the cons are. I understand that they do more intra-port. So to prepare you for what that means, it means you're going to board in Italy. You're going to then go to Spain. People are going to get off. More people are going to board. You're then going to go up to France. People are going to board. People are going to get off. And then you're going to finally make it back to Italy. You're going to be constantly stopping and bringing people on and moving people off. Just a different dynamic you need to know about. The friends that you make today may not be there on your cruise tomorrow, which if you're here in the States, that's not happening. So I just find that to be different. What did I think of Mario, the cruise director on Indy? I thought he was fine. He was actually more personable and more social than most cruise directors that I have seen recently. So I will certainly give him that. I enjoyed when he was speaking. He kept it brief. He told us what he needed to. And then he would walk the hallways saying hi to people and things that you just don't see. I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say it's a lost art, but you don't see officers and staff talking and engaging with the guests like they used to. And I still kind of miss that. Hey there, Dino. Dino called me out in one of my videos. Dino, I'm going to mention you for a bit. Actually, it was the Boardwalk View balcony that I had on Utopia. I had a shirt in there that was brand new that still had its tag on it. I don't know if you thought I was going to be returning it or what I was going to do, but called me out for that. I had just gone shopping in Sawgrass Mills. So for those of you that are familiar with South Florida, this is out west of Fort Lauderdale. We have a huge mall called Sawgrass Mills. It's got a lot of outlet stores, and I have fallen in love with one of the stores there. It's called Vince, Vince. And I'm getting things that I really like for a really good deal. They like to do like 70% off and then like another 25 after that or something. I don't even really understand the math, but it always comes out super cheap. And that was one of the shirts that I had gotten from there that I hadn't worn yet. I was debuting it. So you will see that come up. I think I filmed a video on it. I always like to stay looking sharp for you all. Granted, tonight I kind of just threw on a t-shirt because of, this head thing. But that is what it is. Normally I try to always like do my hair. I'll even shower. I put on a collared shirt. Like I try to look good for you guys. William, I knew somebody here would know. Sorry, I wasn't able to get there. And glad I only said 60%. This is why I also don't use the casino because I'm not good at betting. Oh, the panoramic suite is a nice one, Kevin. So for all those who don't know, the panoramic suite, there's 2 of them on the ship. They're on the 11th floor all the way forward. And they've got these massive windows that look down to the helipad and then the rest of wherever your ship is going. And it is some beautiful views, especially if you can be there for sunset, sunrise. It is really, really nice. The downside to it, and you know this, of course, Kevin, is it doesn't have a balcony, which a lot of people don't want to give up a balcony, but it is a larger room. It does come with suite amenities, or at least it has in the past. And so I am a huge fan of it. It actually has bunk beds in it. So if you want to sleep comfortably 4 people, this one can do it. Yeah, so Scott's verifying that Interport thing on the Grandiosa that he did was people getting on, getting off all the time. Royal would do that on some of their Mediterranean cruises as well, but it's normally limited to just 2 of the ports, whereas I feel MSC does them a little bit more. Time-wise, is there a sweet spot for booking flights? Any difference on international? I don't think that there is. People have always said book. I think it's more important to focus on when you go, not necessarily the day of the week that you book, but the day of the week that you fly and the time of year that you go on a cruise. So if you are flying on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, it's going to be much cheaper. If you decide to book a flight, so if your cruise comes out on Saturday or Sunday, and you can get up and get out, I would say if you can book a flight at 10, it's going to be much cheaper than everybody else who's following the afternoon rule to fly out. You can always see a price difference in the same exact flight. Because the cruise ship comes in, it changes the price significantly. So if you want to get one of the earlier ones, that might be a good way to do that as well. For cruise ships, the dates that I try to get the best deals on are number 1, December. So in between Thanksgiving and Christmas is always a good time because you just went to grandma's house for Thanksgiving. You're going somewhere else for Christmas. And so you can normally find some decent deals there. Hurricane season, especially the latter part, September, October, also tend to be a little bit cheaper. This year, I'm not sure that's necessarily the case because there's a ton of people on ships these days. They are all selling pretty full, making deals tough to come by. But the solid strategy for me so far right now has been booking well in advance. I'm playing what I call the long game. And that used to not be the case. I used to play the short game where I book closer out because the prices would come down. These days, I've not seen that happen. There's so many people cruising that the price just seems to keep going up. Rarely can I ever, check it and say, oh, I can reprice and save some money. And even if I do, it's like $20. Oh, I've not cruised out of Civitici. Hold on, I should know how to say this. Hold on. Civiccia. I'll just say it without looking at it. I think that's throwing me. But I have been there for a stop. I've not sailed out of there. Dano, I did take the tag off. I sure did. I got it. That I did not want to walk around with. I'm thinking of, my mom's probably thinking of Minnie Pearl in the other room now. For those of you with some country roots and some older roots, you know who I'm talking about there. Sammy. Hello, Sammy. Welcome to the chat. And it looks like I'm getting all caught up on the comments. So look, I'm clearly sick right now. I'm having this because I love chatting with you all and I didn't want to miss it. And I was super excited to actually have planned it 2 nights ago so that you had advance notice. So I'm glad to stick around and talk, but I'm not going to try to drag this out tonight. My voice, you can already hear, is getting weaker as this goes on. Hey there, Allie. I would love to meet your friend Steven. That sounds like a good time to me. The Yacht Club is one place that I have been trying to get into. I haven't done it, interestingly enough, and I don't do it because of the cost. Like, I want to go pretty frequently, and I got to manage my money. And so that's just not, something that I can do at this point. But I am super excited that Steven gets to have that opportunity. But I would love to get in there. People swear by the Yacht Club how great it is, the price point on how cheap it is, but yet how incredible the service and the food is that you get there. So I would really love to do it. I've reached out to their social media team a few times. They're like, guys, just let me walk in and film a little bit just to say, I don't need to stay in it. I just want to go in and be able to just touch it, just be like, oh, it's the Yacht Club. Yeah, so maybe one of these days I will make it over there. There was another thing I was going to talk about. My mind's not working well tonight. Oh, Yacht Club. One good way to save money on the Yacht Club, Allie, is, did you know that they have interior cabins? So when I think of Royal Caribbean, actually I know when I think of Royal Caribbean, their suite area is all suites. On MSC, they created a ship within a ship model. And, Royal and MSC just took different opinions of how this goes. But their Yacht Club is a ship within a ship. meaning it's a small section that's walled off just to those folks. And they have interior, they have ocean view, they have balconies, all within there at different price points. They're at a higher price point because you are getting a lot nicer of an experience in there. But they do come through the bid program as well. So if you want to bid up on one of those, you can bid up to the interior room. And it might not cost you that much more than a balcony or something like that. I think the last one that I was on, it was going to cost me about $400 to go into the interior in Yacht Club. And that was more than I paid for the cruise. So I wasn't willing to do that. Hey, David. I know we missed you as well. David is one of the original, the OGs that came with us on the group cruise, but I think David's going to be back with us on MSC World America. So if you're interested in coming, you'll be able to meet him there. I was on Utopia 2 weekends ago, I think it was. Was it maybe 3 weekends ago? So I wasn't there this past weekend. That was Independence of the Seas. When was I actually on Utopia? Now I'm doubting my dates here. I was on her September 6th is when I was there. So it's taken me a little bit to get the videos recorded for that. I've got the other ones in process right now being edited. And so hopefully they'll be out pretty soon. But I'm excited. I will share that, and I left this in the comment for the end of the Utopia walking tour. If you haven't seen that, make sure you do check that out. I didn't think the video was going to turn out good at all, you guys. Like, I was really worried about it because Utopia is still a new ship, and they were doing tons of training and events when everybody was supposed to be out of the ship in Coco Cay, enjoying themselves, and I can walk around freely and just film whatever I want to. And there was people everywhere. They were training. They were causing me to do everything. So it's interesting what you see in the video. This is a little behind the scenes. Is, I do chronological from I start at the bottom and we work our way all the way up to the top deck, right? I like to start in entertainment place. We go to the Royal Promenade. I hit the boardwalk. We'll do the music hall. We'll do Giovanni's, Central Park, and then we'll go up to the pool decks, etc. It was filmed all out of order. So I started the video, actually, the first tour that I did was from the solarium of the pool deck, going all the way forward. And I started it kind of like, it was the beginning of one, like, hey, it's Utopia of the Seas, but it hopefully flowed. But I caught myself a few times, referencing something. I was like, oh, what we've already talked about. And then I was like, oh, wait, you haven't seen that yet. You don't know that I've talked about it. And so hopefully you all didn't pick up on any of that, or it wasn't too terribly apparent that I was telling you should have heard something that you shouldn't have. But it's because I mixed and matched. And it took me, normally I can do it in about an hour. This one took me about 2.5 hours to record because I had to wait for people to finish and do things. And it was a lot more than it traditionally is. But I was super glad when I got the preview of how it turned out, that it actually did really good. So hopefully it will continue to do that. It's getting decent views already. And the other thing, I shouldn't even tell my secrets here, for the group cruise. So the algorithm always likes when people watch videos all the way through. You like it, you share it, what have you. At the group cruise, I told everybody at happy hour, I was like, okay, everybody, pull out your phone. The Weekend Cruiser just had a video go live, and we're all going to watch it at the same time. And so we all pulled out our phones. We turned on the Utopia walking tour. We muted it so that we could still have conversation, but you saw at everybody's seat going around that their phones were playing the same video. It was quite nice. I was very honored that they actually did it. I kind of threw it out there sarcastically, but I was glad when everybody did it. So thank you for helping me get the algorithm going. How do I join and meet the solo cruiser? So William, go down into the description. There is the Weekend Cruiser group cruise newsletter, and there's also the weekendcruiser.com to keep you informed. The newsletter is where I would say go, because I'm going to send out information for that. But the solo trip that I'm marketing as solo is November 16, 2025 out of Los Angeles. And there's a ton of solo rooms there, which is a really big win. But even if you come on a traditional group cruise like the May 3rd on the MSC World America, we're probably about 50% solo, 50% others. Because a lot of solo cruisers follow the channel because I'm a solo cruiser and talk about that openly. So you will definitely meet people if you want to do that. So come join us. We'd love to have you. And then you get the best of both worlds, being a solo, but actually being part of a group. And Natalie, I clicked on your question and forgot to actually answer it. So apologies. So he let me go with him for 150. Soto brag. He's been cruising 20 plus years. So you just paid port fees and taxes. I am very jealous. I wonder if I have actually, does he exclusively sell MSC? I wonder if I have met him in passing because, one thing when you start cruising a lot and you think that you're the only one who's cruising this much, and then you go on a cruise and you're like, wait a second, I've seen you before. You start to recognize some of the same characters on your ships. So I may have met him somewhere along the way. Who knows? But yeah, I would go in the yacht club for $150 all day long. Was Utopia my first Oasis class? It was not. So I've actually done a good number of the Oasis classes, and I just pulled up my spreadsheet. I need to add Utopia on here, but I have officially done every single Oasis class ship. I think it was one of them was, I think it was the Harmony of, no, there was one of them that was evading me for years that I just couldn't get to. But I have done all of the Oasis class, all of the Freedom class. For Voyager, the only one that I'm missing is the Voyager ship for Radiance. It is the Radiance ship, which I'm going to book for next year, so I'll get on it. And for Vision class, I have not done the Rhapsody of the Seas. Quantum, I have only done Anthem of the Seas. So that's one reason why I'm super pumped about going on the group cruise on Quantum of the Seas, because it will be my second out of one. How many do they have? They have 5 quantum ships, and I've only been on one of them, which is a far cry from the others. They're in the Asian market. They're on the West Coast, so they're just not convenient to me. But I will go. Which one did I like the best? Utopia. I really enjoyed my tour on Utopia, and it's going to come through in some of the videos that I'm going to put out on how they changed it to make it an excellent weekend experience. They marketed it as the ultimate weekend cruise, and I think they've done a really, really good job. The ship itself, the design, isn't that much different. There are a lot of changes that they made to the ship. That was my other video I made. I talked about how they changed it from other ships. And they've made some small changes. They're always refining, right, to make things good. But I think with this one, it was more how they changed the atmosphere and the dynamic of the entertainment and how you interact with people that made it feel like a true solid weekend option. So I was super excited about it. Nancy, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten this question. Jordan Both, if you all do not know Jordan, she is a sweetheart, first of all. And she is currently on Utopia the Seas as part of the ice skating team. She does have her own YouTube channel, Instagram, and she is very popular. I did not see her on this sailing, but she did do a stint on Freedom of the Seas. And that's where I initially got introduced to her quite some time ago at this point. I wouldn't say that we've kept in touch or anything like that. But, I do know who Jordan is. I have met her in years gone by. And, a lot of people do follow her. I did also see Chris Wong, who was on Utopia. So a lot of people know Chris Wong works in the casino. One of the crew members who makes content on YouTube. Super nice guy as well. And so I got to chat with him a little bit. I did walk up to him and introduce myself. He's in a job where that's easier, that you can go up and say hello. I don't know that he knew who I was necessarily, and no harm there. I don't necessarily know a lot of YouTubers either. But it was really good just to chat with him and talk some about YouTube and all that good stuff. He's actually going over to, I don't know if he's going, I think he's going to Quantum actually. So maybe he'll be there. He won't be there for the groupers. He wanted to go back to Alaska. So that's where he's heading to now. Do I have to let the staff know when I am doing a tour of the ship or walking around with a camera? I don't have my thing with me. I was going to show you my gimbal. And so it's probably about this big. It's not very huge. And it honestly probably looks a little amateurish, which I think is one of the endearing qualities of my channel, is it comes off amateurish from time to time because I just can't put only so much work into something. But no, I have never let them know when I'm going to be filming. And I have never had an issue with any of the cruise lines, getting on me for that. It's a personal preference of mine to try to film when there's less people on the ship. And I know a lot of people like to see, people moving around, how there's flowing, doing the people watching and seeing people that I'm filming. But, the people that I'm filming didn't necessarily sign up to be filmed. And yes, they're in public and it absolutely can happen. We're probably filmed more times in a day than I would care to even think of, even in our normal lives. But I try to keep it down to a minimum. And it's also just easier for me to walk and talk because people aren't, quite frankly, getting in my way. Because when I need to go somewhere, I'm in the middle of saying something. And so I got to keep moving. There was this really nice couple, actually I think it was 2 or 3 people in the Crown Lounge on Utopia that saw me with the camera, recognized me, and started hollering at me, "Hey, it's the Weekend Cruiser," and wanted to have a conversation. And I was like, I got to keep going, guys. Like, because when I press that record button for a tour, we are walking and talking. I do not stop walking while I am recording because it is a goal of mine to bring you the shortest full ship tours. Most of them are normally extremely long, and mine are not short by any means, especially on Oasis class. They're normally around 45 minutes. But I try my best to get in, get out, tell you what you need to know, no more, and then we're moving on with it. And that's also why when you hear me walking up the stairs when I'm going between deck 4 and deck 5, that I give out of breath when I'm trying to walk and talk because I'm just not in as great a shape as I probably would like to be. The only time, Dana, I will mention this, that I got in trouble was on MSC. And I wouldn't even say that I got in trouble. I was sitting in the front row with just my camera of the singers and dancers shows, and I was recording them from time to time. And the cruise director mentioned it to me when he saw me, just on be careful to that and all this kind of stuff. But nobody's ever said anything. The cruise lines definitely know who us YouTubers are or us vloggers. They have whole teams dedicated to social media. And so they know who we are. They don't always... Like Royal Caribbean's never reached out to me, but I know that they've seen other videos of mine and they've reached out to people on the ships. So they absolutely do see my videos, even though they don't acknowledge that to me, which is fine. I'm not bitter. Nelly, you canceled Utopia. You know what? Look, Utopia is still a really expensive time. So you're probably going to save a little bit of money. Hopefully you were not in final pay. But if you were able to book Oasis to Aruba and Curacao instead, I mean... well done. Like, I love Aruba and Curacao. Those are some excellent places. And it's going to be a much longer trip than what you would have gotten on Utopia. There'll be plenty of times to get back to Utopia. So I think that's going to work out well for you, Nelly. Dancy, they sure are. I don't watch Jordan's channel that much, but I've watched a few things of Chris, and they're just such lovely people in person. I do enjoy chatting with them when I see them. Have I been on any of the Sovereign class ships? I sure have. So I missed the Song of America, Kevin. That's unfortunate. But I did get to go on both the Empress as well as the Majesty of the Seas. I affectionately refer to Empress of the Seas as my first love. That's where I really started being like, I can cruise a lot on this ship. And I still like that size ship. I know that they will never make them that size again unless it's on a luxury cruise line. But I really love the Empress of the Seas. And I've threatened more than a few times to fly over to India and board her again. So the Empress of the Seas is actually still sailing out there. And she's with an Indian company called, I'm blanking on it, but it sails out of the southwestern side of India, like Goa and places like that. But I would love to go over there and just do a full ship walking tour of Empress of the Seas to show you all she's still around, how she's been customized for her new market. I would love to do that, but Song of America is one that I missed. I think Song of America is still floating out there too as part of a different cruise line, but because I didn't go on it, I don't feel the need for that one just yet. Oh, Sam, I'm actually on the Reflection this weekend. So me and Mom are going there starting Friday to Monday. So excited to be going back up to Fort Lauderdale. I've not cruised out of there in a while now, but I really enjoy Celebrities Weekends. You know, people ask me all the time what my favorite is these days, and I really should probably just make a video on my favorite weekend cruise. But the best one that I think is out there right now is Celebrity. For me, the Reflection, the upcoming Silhouette, they have managed to keep the celebrity feeling, the celebrity vibe, even though they are doing a weekend cruise. Are people there drinking? Are they having a great time and getting the drink package? Yes, yes, and yes. But the food is the same. The service is the same. The atmosphere is the same. They've really managed to maintain that thing that makes them celebrity, if you will, even though they're doing weekend cruises. And I really, really like that. I would even say compared to Virgin Voyages these days, I'd rather go on a celebrity ship. More people that I talk to, and I hate to say this about Virgin, more people that I talk to that have been to Virgin are actually coming back and saying, we'd rather be on Celebrity. And I concur with that. I agree with that. Virgin's tried a new model, and some people love Virgin, and that's fine. I like Virgin. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying I like Celebrity a little bit better these days. So if you're looking in between the two, that might give you a little bit of insight on the way you want to go there. Juniors can get crazy expensive to go there. Any tips for winning a Royal Up room? What I coach people on here, Michelle, is if you're looking at doing a Royal Up bid, is to see what is the capacity of your ship. And the way that you do that is, number one, either reach out to a travel agent and see if they can give you some intel. But if you simply just go online to royalcaribbean.com and price out the exact cruise that you've got. So do like a mock booking or a faux booking and see what the rates are going for. If the rates are super high, that means there's not that much room left because it's dynamic pricing, right? So the higher the fare is, the less rooms they're going to have available. But if you see that the balcony room and the junior suite room are closer together in price, that means there's going to be less junior suite rooms or more junior suite rooms available. So it doesn't give you a black and white answer of how you need to do it, but it gives you some insight into how many potential rooms are available. And you can base that off of the price on how much it's going for and say, if it's a crazy amount, you probably don't have that many that are left. And if you're doing a Royal Up bid, it's going to have to be higher because you're fighting for like 1 or 2 junior suites. And I'm sure other people are going to have bids in as well. Have I been to Antigua or St. Lucia? Let me reference my handy spreadsheet over here. Have I been to Antigua? I want to say I've been to St. John's, Antigua. Yes, I have done that. Have I done? I'm pretty sure I've done Lucia. I haven't done these in a while though, but I've also done St. Lucia as well. And I mean, I can even tell you what ship I did it on technically. Let's scroll up here, give you some details. So Antigua was on Serenade of the Seas. It was a 10-night sailing, actually. So Serenade used to do Friday to Monday morning sailings, which were one of my favorites because normally I do it over a holiday weekend. And this was over Veterans Day as I look at it. And so for 4 vacation days, I got 10 nights at sea, which is fantastic. That is a great ratio there. So that's when I went to Antigua. St. Lucia, I did on another sailing prior to that. And that was on Adventure of the Seas, a 7-night that was out of San Juan, actually, because they are further south. So for a 7-night, that's where it would have to go from. But that was 2016. Oh, gosh. It's been a while since I've been there. I honestly don't remember at this point. I've been to so many Caribbean islands. This is going to sound horrible. They start to run together. I can't say that I necessarily remember the 10-night that I did, but I'm glad to see you're on a 10-night as well. Sorry, I can't give you more advice there. I mean, if you have a question about the Bahamas like that, I can definitely do. The other islands, I get a little fishy these days. My favorite place to hang out on the Reflection, Cafe El Baccio. I am a huge fan of their coffee shop. That is where you will find me pre-dinner, post-dinner. When I get bored, if I want to read a book, I'm normally sitting at Cafe El Baccio. I love the coffee shop atmosphere and location. That's one of my favorites. The other one that I like is, blanking on the name of it, top deck all the way forward. It is the Crystal Lounge or something like that, where they have the newer chairs. You've got all the windows and you can look out the aft section of the ship. That's also another fan favorite of mine. That's where I go often. Nancy, any plans for a luxury cruise? I would love to do a luxury cruise, but I currently do not have plans to do that. There is, I've seen that Windstar as well as Waterways, I forgot how you say it, are both, reaching out to social media folks. And so I've thought about engaging them just to see if I can get on one of their ships. But Windstar, I actually did get approved to do a Windstar ship last year, and it was only selling out of the Caribbean. And the flight to get there was going to be like $1,100. And I'm like, I'm not taking a free cruise to turn around and pay $1,100. The content is not even going to come close to make that. So that's the tough part with, things like that, Nancy, is I'm trying to make the business decision of, am I even going to come close to recouping some of the money that it's going to cost me to do that experience? If I can get on there complimentary with airfare included, and they're doing that now, I might be able to do that. I was actually talking to mom yesterday because I saw the Ammo Water. How do you, somebody spell out for me, how do you say Am Waterways? Amways? Something like that. Asking her if she wanted to do a river cruise one day. I've never done one, but I would definitely welcome doing a river cruise one of these days. And those are always a more luxury kind of experience. So maybe, Nancy, stay tuned. If the channel keeps growing, I'm sure more opportunities like that will come up. Have I stayed in one of the newer ocean views? I have not, but I have walked by these and seen them, and they are huge. It's a really nice room. If you like that natural light coming in, it's a really good fit for it. It's designed as the same size as an ocean view room, but they've done a really good job of decorating and modernizing it. It looks really good. By the mid stairs in the hallway of Tuscan. If you're doing it for Summit's not doing weekends anymore. She was doing some 4-night Sundays. I would say normally by the stairs, you just get a lot more noise for those. I personally don't mind it because it's super easy, but no, I haven't stayed in one of those just yet. I think I did a lot of interiors and solo cabins. Was it Summit that had solo cabins? I think it actually doesn't have any. So I was doing interior then. But the interiors, I think I made a room tour of my interior on Summit, Jenna, and it was, I could live here. Like even their interior room, super well designed. It is very, very nice. One of the nicest interior rooms I think I've ever stayed in. He was Icon. How was Icon, baby? Adventures of Chloe. I've not been on Icon just yet. It's at a really high price point. I'm not sure that I'm gonna love it, and so I'm just kind of waiting for her to come down in size. Probably probably by that, a few more Icon ships to come out. That I think will also help stabilize the price. We've got the Star of the Seas already coming out and already able to book online. And then you've got 2 more going to come out the following year. So the Royal Caribbean fleet's going to be growing by leaps and bounds. Oh, she was scrapped. Which one was not? There's another ship out there that has a Viking Crown Lounge on it that is not scrapped. Not Song of America, Song of Norway, maybe. But I've heard amazing things from people that have had the opportunity to go on that ship. I mean, talk about classic cruising, Kevin. That must have been such an awesome experience. Ha, Nelly, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they came knocking on my door at some point to start paying taxes over there. Let's hope that never happens. Luckily, I don't work in Nassau. But yeah, no, I would not be a fan of that. I've been there. I think I just looked at it earlier. I've been there. Well, the Bahamas. So it's interesting. I don't have the number to show me how many individual times I've been there, but it's over 100 now because I've been to just Nassau 92 times. And I definitely know there's some ships that went to Coco Cay and never went to Nassau, or they went to Bimini instead. So I've certainly done at least a day trip to Nassau over 100 times at this point, which is crazy to think about. How many times have I been to Coco Cay? Coco Cay, I've been 87 times. So I'm working on that one too. Have I sailed on Princess? Fenway Chris. Is this Fenway Boston, out of curiosity, by the Finns? So I used to live in Boston. That's why I asked. I was there for 11 years and loved it. Have I sailed on Princess? I have not. They don't traditionally do short cruises, though. I was made aware a few weeks ago that they do have some short cruises from Seattle to Alaska. They are doing what they're calling an Alaska sampler. And so it leaves from Seattle, sea day, Ketchikan, sea day, and then comes back into Vancouver. It drops you off there. So because you have to at least go to a foreign port, Alaska doesn't count as a foreign port, so you got to go to Canada. And it is a 4-night sailing to Alaska, which seems a little crazy, but you know what? It's on my calendar. It's on my radar. So I might be getting over there. And people that go on Princess swear by Princess. And so I kind of want to go and see what all the hoopla is about. I don't know that 4 days will give me necessarily that experience. I also don't know that I want to pay, similar to a conversation we were having earlier, I don't know that I want to pay a flight to go to Seattle one way to get on a 4-night cruise to fly back on a one-way ticket from Vancouver. I priced it out. It's going to cost me about $800 to do that. I think, $600 maybe, or I don't know. We'll have to figure that out if I do it, but we'll see. How does it compare with Celebrity? I'm a big fan of Celebrity these days. I have to imagine it's comparable because they're both considered to be premium cruise lines. So you've got, for Princess, you've got Carnival underneath. For Celebrity, you've got Royal underneath. And then when you step up, you've got Celebrity and you've got Princess. And I think Holland also comes in on the Carnival side. So you've got some areas over there, but I'm not sure. I would assume that they're similar. I don't, Debbie. I pay for all of mine. I went through a phase where I did, and I've made a video of why I have stopped that. I am no longer a fan of casino comps and gambling in the casino. And there's a whole video on that if you want to check it out. But I do not sell on casino comps anymore. I don't. I think I have two still left that I just got to go through because I booked them so far out. But all of the, oh gosh, how many cruises do I have booked at this point? They're spread throughout. So I am sitting on, let's look at this. I've got 9 more left this year. I've got 18 next year, and I've got 16 already booked for 2026. So I'm running a little over 40 cruises, and I think only 2 of them are casino comped. All the other ones are just cheap cruises. Like the one in 2026, it's the Seaside, MSC Seaside. I'm booking them, total cruise, average cost of all 16 of those. Where's my average number? Come on. $426, including taxes, and they're going to give me $50 of onboard credit on a refundable deposit of $99. Okay, so when I saw that come out, I booked literally 4 months worth. I booked January, February, March, and April every single weekend. It's refundable. I'll know by the time I get there, but I was able to lock in a $400 rate. The cheapest one of those, if you're looking for a cheap rate, was, oh, that's a different one. I'm actually on the Grandiosa. It's going to be selling out of Canaveral on January 9th. And that one I booked for $290 plus $50 of onboard credit. So literally a weekend cruise will cost me $240. Oh, okay. I will book those all day long. And so when people look at me and say, why are you booking MSC? I go, look at my numbers. Look at how cheap it is. If I'm looking at any other cruise line these days, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, what have you, at the same time period, it's costing me $800 to $1,000 for an interior cabin when I can go on MSC on a good ship on the seaside, which I love the C class, and book it for $400. I'm going to do that all day long. I do not get $400 or $500 worth of additional enjoyment by going on a Royal Caribbean or a Celebrity ship for a 3-night cruise. All things being equal, I will save that money. I'll go on another cruise because I don't get that much money. I debate with people. They're like, oh, Brandon, you get what you pay for. If it's super cheap, it's going to be a low quality experience. I would beg to differ. It's not a low quality experience on MSC, my personal opinion on that. But more importantly, is when you say you get your money's worth, if I pay $400 here, that whole analogy, if I pay another $500, am I getting a full $500 worth of value to switch over to another cruise line for a very similar itinerary? No, I'm not going to be getting that. So I'm still not getting my money's worth. It's just a matter of how much you value some of those items. And I don't value it to that tune, not even close. Sam, I have not thought about doing the 4-night on Margaritaville at Sea, but I do have one of their cruises on my spreadsheet as well for next year that I'm monitoring. I've got, how many places do I have that I can still book a cruise for next year? It's not many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got like 6 cruises I want to book still for next year. One of those is Margaritaville at Sea, and they're doing a weekend in June. For a weekend sailing in June, it's actually one that's the most reasonably priced. And so I figured, why not? Let's go up there and check it out. It will not be their new to them ship, but it will be their old Paradise ship, Paradise Bahamas. So, but that's fine. I looked at the ones running out of Tampa on their new ship, and I just can't make that schedule work, unfortunately. But I'd absolutely do it. I almost feel like they used to be the ultimate weekend cruise because you could do a legit like Friday afternoon to Sunday, and you don't have to worry about coming back on Monday, or you can do however you do your schedule. It was more of a true weekend. So I will go there, and I'm sure that I will like it because I've yet to meet a cruise ship that I don't like. That's just the way that I am. Ooh, Regal's doing a 4-night. Is that a midweek sailing, Nelly? Because they'll do like some of these weird, like Wednesday to Saturday or Wednesday to Sunday kind of situations, which I'm not a huge fan of. But if they do a Thursday to Monday morning, we might be able to work something out there. Oh, Majesty? I thought Majesty was scrapped. Maybe I'm wrong in that, Kevin. It is Mariella, but I feel like there's another one in there. Majesty was not a ship that I loved, quite frankly. I went on it. It took me to Cuba, down to the Havana route when it was running. I have some fond memories of it. One of the best memories I have of that ship is coming back from Havana at literally 3 in the morning. Because they let it all aboard wasn't until 7 in the morning because I knew we wanted to do the nightlife. And so I came back at like 3 and went up to their pizza parlor, their Sorrentos, and just had a wonderful time until like 4 in the morning with people that I had met there. You could actually see the crew bar when you were walking up, and they were still partying and having a good time. It was just, that was a really fun sailing. Hey, Ralph, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're good. When do I think the price will come down? When there are other Icon ships out there. Icon is pricing very well right now, and you can even buy the Star at this point. But since it hasn't launched, I think people are still. And Icon, they did such a great job on marketing the Icon. You guys, like, I don't know if you saw all the advertisements for it, but there was so much hoopla and marketing and fanfare for the Icon that it's going to take a little while for that to back off. I pray that we are not in a new normal of cruise line cost. And that very well could be the case. There's more people cruising than ever. But the good news is they are going to be, the cruise lines holistically are going to be adding so much capacity over the next 4 years that I'm hoping it balances it out a little bit more. But it is definitely getting expensive. I would not expect the Icon to come down in price at least for 2 years at this point. The Star is going to need to come out, and then we're going to be able to book the third one, whatever that's going to be, in order for it to come down. I don't see it happening anytime soon. It is still one that everybody is raving about. Ralph G, May 3rd is when it is. So if you go to weekendcruiser.com and go to the group cruise section, it'll give you all the details there. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. I'll probably see if I can't get a newsletter email out this week or next. Now that one group cruise is done, I need to start talking to you all about how you can come join me on another group cruise. I'd love to meet you all. But it is on May 3rd of 2025, Ralph. And interesting, for an inaugural sailing, or for like 3 weeks after it's new, it's still reasonably priced for that. It's still going to be cheaper than Icon. Yep, that's what I was talking about with them doing their weird schedules. I definitely, when I'm booking cruises, I go through and see what's available on that weekend. And I'm looking throughout the country, honestly, because there is a unique 3-night kind of situation that I can do. I will do it. I'll go over to Tampa. I'll go over to Canaveral. There's oftentimes, like the MSC Grandiosa, she's only going to be doing weekends for a very limited window of time. And so I'm going to go up there and grab it while it's there. You've got Oasis actually coming up. I don't know if you all are on this sailing or not, but if you're looking for an Oasis ship, or Oasis, the ship, November 8th, I don't know if they still have rooms on it available, but it is a 3-night sailing. It is a Thursday to Sunday, but I will be there on that. And it is the one 3-night cruise that it's going to be doing this year. So I jumped all over it. When you got off Quantum, she said, I miss MSC after the WA inaugural. WA, the World America and Divina 10-night March. World America is not out yet, so maybe World Europa is what you were on if you were cruising in Europe. But, you know, when I was on Independence of the Seas this weekend, I said the same thing. I said, I miss my MSC ship. The buffet, I mean, crushed Independence of the Seas this weekend. The food quality from the buffet for Independence of the Seas was not where I want it to be. The options were not there. They had one whole side of, stir fry bok choy kind of stuff in like 4 dishes in a row. And there was more of them sitting in the other section. I mean, it's a really cheap buffet at this point on Royal Caribbean, especially on Independence Day. Their main dining room was absolutely fantastic. We had great service there, great food there. But the dining room, I definitely was like, I miss my buffet at MSC on the Magnifica on a small ship. So maybe things will change or shape up. But it's always surprising when I think about the food quality on ships. We're paying a lot more now than we've ever paid for food, right? Or not for food, but for cruise ships. But the food quality has gone down. Like we're paying more and we keep getting less quality. I don't know where this kind of ends. As long as people keep paying the money and getting that quality, I just hope that, I don't know, if those people are going and not enjoying themselves, maybe they're not going to come back and problem will take care of itself. But I don't know if that's how it's going to work. Excuse me, not November 7th. Is it November 7th? Please hold. Yes, November 7th, 2024. Oasis is doing a 3-night sailing. If you want to come say hello, it's not a group cruise. I'm just telling you it's a super cool cruise because it's the only short one they're doing, and I live for those things. So if you want to jump on that, we can definitely grab a drink together. Yep, did enjoy Alaska. I mean, everybody loves Alaska. People come back from there and they just talk about how majestic it is. I would actually like to go back to Alaska just to go to Ketchikan, just to cruise along and look at the nature. It is a wonderful cruise, though the Norwegian fjords is kind of more the popular kids' place these days. So if you talk to people that are traveling a lot, the Norwegian fjords, similar to the Alaska fjords, are getting really, really popular. So I'd like to do those two at some point. What line ship has the best inside room? Celebrity. Celebrity has done an awesome job of remodeling their interior cabins, all of their cabins for that matter. So I've done the Summit, the Reflection, and the Silhouette. They have all been fantastic. I haven't done an interior on some of the other ships. When I do longer sailings, I often get a balcony. But those ships, I can tell you hands down, they're absolutely gorgeous. Go and check out one of the room tours, Sam, of the celebrity rooms that I've stayed in. And you will see they're just so well designed. They're so nice and pretty on the inside. I'm like, I could actually see myself living in this. It's kind of crazy, but they're really nice. Late 2025, you do have Wonder. She's going to be starting the weekends on August 29th on Labor Day weekend. So she's coming down here to Miami to do weekend sailings. So excited to have her here. I am there December 5th as well. So if you're looking that late in the game, you might can find a good deal there, Ralph. Yeah, the Windjammer has definitely lost its luster for me. I'm kind of over it. Luckily for breakfast, I'm a Pinnacle member, so I'm a little spoiled in that they give us a chops experience. So I get to go in there and order my eggs and all that kind of stuff, and at least get me out of some of the melee that happens during peak hours. But the food there has been not good. A lot of people on the group cruise did exactly what you did, Nelly, and they started going, "We're just going to go to the main dining room for everything and eat down there," and that seemed to do it. Fantastic, Matt. I look forward to it. If you booked it a month ago, hopefully you still got a good deal on it. Sometimes when you have short cruises like this, a lot of people like myself go, "Ooh, it's a unique experience. We get to do it," and others don't really care for that. So it'd be interesting how many people are there. All right, everybody. I am caught up on comments, so I am going to call it. My voice has somehow made it, but I can tell my mouth is so dry right now. I keep drinking water. I'm really going to be up the entire night going to and from the bathroom. But I'm oversharing. I apologize. So I'm going to call it a night here. As always, thank you for coming and making me feel better, just chatting with me, being part of the Weekend Cruiser, and spending your evening with me. This is my highlight of the week, so I appreciate it. And to all those people looking to come on a group cruise, I hope to see you soon. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. We'll chat soon.